everybody. Hope you are all having a great day. I think everything is good. I made some small adjustments to the camera and then I was trying to figure out whether or not I should turn this on, and however I placed it, just like one side of my face would look super bright and the other side would just look, well, not really lit. So I think for now this is good. If later it's needed, I can probably figure that out too. Today we're sitting in a different spot in the house because, oh boy, the weekend that I had. So I will be telling you more about it when we hit some stopping points, but this is one of my favorite ever games. And so I don't want to, well, I mean, there's a high chance many of you will already be familiar with it, since it was a World Championship match, so, you know, more people know about it. Sorry. This was the World Championship in Chennai 2013, and Magnus won this one. He has been a reigning champion since. But yeah, I believe this was game 9. Yeah. Alright. So, I think this was one of the coolest ones, especially because, well, to be fair, I think my personal favorites from Magnus's series of wins is when he won against Nakamura in 2013. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Naka fan, but that game, whoa, that was just awesome. That I actually, I was thinking about, have I done that yet or not? So I had to go check in the video series and find that. I have done that. I'm sure we can pull up the link for that too. That was a very fun one. That one is my most favorite Magnus win of all times. Still haven't managed to find another one to beat it. So we're gonna start off this one. Let's go ahead. So Magnus was black in this game, and that, remember, this is 8 years ago. So don't underestimate young Magnus. All right. Oh, I see the chat is also warming up. Lovely. Okay, yeah, so I also personally play this opening. I play Nimzo-Indian. I actually think I started playing it 2013 as well. I kind of always liked it. I thought it's such a fun little, like, I'm a big fan of the center. However, in these type of games, it just, I don't know, it just feels way too good not to play like this, not to be a little sneaky when it comes to the opening. Like, from the white side, I have to do e4. I just can't. Like, I've tried Reti, I've tried London. London is still fine, but I'm just an e4 girl. I like it. It's straightforward. It just goes very just fast-paced. I love it. I can't help myself. Sorry for the disappointment. Like, even today, if you go, there'll probably be more pictures up for it, but the chess club had the chess cops events where, like, we went to, me and Alejandro and a bunch of other, actually Dominguez showed up for a minute or two too. It was so cool. Bunch of the cool guys and a lot of the club staff were there, and there was great hot dogs. I liked it. I had 2. I feel a little too full, but anyways, even with that, we were doing like a simultaneous exhibition. But like, I loved e4. I was like, okay, so for this one I'll do Reti, but for this one I just, like, it was like 5 e4s, 1 Reti. So anyways, I'm just blabbering at this point, talking about my love for center. But guys, don't forget, center matters. You might not want to attack it directly immediately, but the control of it matters. Alright, so Bobby blunders, not necessarily. This idea of queen c2, obviously, there's so many different ways to play against Nimzo-Indian. However, in this game, Anand went for f3. Now, f3 has been known to be pretty sharp. If my memory serves correctly, I've had some struggles with f3 against Jonathan /or, I think it was and Caleb. They both kind of played this against me once or twice when we had like an inner club tournament. That was a little hard for me to, and then I kept like trying to play different lines against it, and somehow I never really felt that confident in it. Anyways, one of the biggest thing to keep in mind is, okay, again, I'm getting a little sidetracked because I love talking about openings. So especially in these type of Nimzo-Indians never play after. No, that's not. I think Ben Feingold could agree here. After is fine. So one thing is like this ideas with F3 or E3 in Nimzo-Indian. We basically really do want to try and take over here if we get the chance, and then we would like to do this cool attack around here, which I also have done a little bit of tiny pieces of video series on it. I believe it was both YouTube and Twitch. We can also find that too, put the link here. But the whole idea is that this ideas with like then these like two super weak pawns, and then I'm bringing this bringing these forces to go attack them, bring this. It's like so much fun. And so this idea, I think, is one of the things to keep in mind. So for me, whenever my opponents play E3 or F3, in my mind I'm like, yes, now I can potentially start looking at this. So I try to avoid playing D5. Like, I don't play this D5 that often. I prefer to do something with like C5, which is fine, but especially with F3 you have to be more cautious because E4s could also be coming up, like D5, E4. It could get very, very fast paced. Yes, thank you, Brian Clark. Yeah, I remember, like, I think it was actually twice that happened. I'm quite certain one of it was Caleb, because then I was giving him like a little stink eyes, like, you just beat me, but I was better. Carlsen, yeah, that was 2013. That's the year that Carlsen became the world champion. If you didn't win it, man, I've been congratulating the wrong guy about this championship. Alright, so F3, D5 is the strongest, C5 is another. There's like a bunch of other stuff that you can just castle and then do this knight e8 or like knight h5 ideas. There's so many different ways of playing it, but that's not the point. The point is that here, you kind of have to know different positions that you could end up. So what type of positions you would get in with D5, what type of positions you would get in with C5, what type of positions you would get in with like that knight hanging on H5 or E8 or stuff like that. So that's on you. So there's nothing like in super high levels. Yes, there is like only one best line that you have to follow to get there, but in even in my levels, even in a little higher than my levels, it's not like that. You, as long as you get a playable position and you know where to put your pieces and what's your plan for the middle game, you'll be fine. You don't need to play the first moves of engine every single move. That's kind of the one of the biggest things I learned. Alright, so there's a question on where is His Majesty GM Vishy. He just walked in the kitchen. I'll tell you more about our adventures over the weekend, and actually yesterday too. But for now, let's get a little deeper in the game. There was something mentioned about the E3 first, and it kind of gets very similar to the game too. So let's just look at the game that we have at hand. D5, boom, boom, boom. Now, C5 was played. I like the structure. My only problem with it is I can't do like, so because this pawn is on D5, he can take it. So I don't have that like weakness, the double pawn weakness that I want to go poke at. I don't have that. That's the only thing. So take, and Anand went for E3. Now, my question from the viewers, we're only at move 8, but this is not a super long game. The game actually ended in, I want to say 30 moves? Almost, yeah, a little less than 30 moves, like 28, 29 moves. So this is not a super long game, so understanding the why behind the moves are much more important than just seeing how it ended. Because we all know Carlsen won this game, it says it's right here. And then we also know that Carlsen won this match because, well, he's been the world champion since. Which is kind of interesting. I do want to know what you guys think about the possibility of Naka becoming the world champion. That's another fun one that I don't know what you guys think about. Alright, I'll give you guys maybe another 30 seconds. Just make sure to type in the chat what you want to happen, what do you think it's gonna happen. Just like where the pawns belong. Bobby, we need to know. This is the game this is a match that determined the world champion, the reigning world champion. We got to know. Yeah, that's also another good question. Which one? Who do you think is gonna be? Because it's coming up their match. It's what, in like, I want to say less than 6 months. Coming up very soon. All right, but besides that, sorry, not Nepo or Naka. It would be funny actually a match between Nepo and Naka. But first Nepo has to beat Magnus, and then Naka has to be able to challenge Nepo. It'll be a fun thing. So yeah, we're gonna try to figure out what to do with this pawn. Honestly, either take, push, or just ignore it and be fine with the isolated pawn. So that pawn structure right now is very, very important. We need to know what is happening for this pawn structure. Lovely, yeah, I like c4. I think c4 is actually the best one. Now, after c4, it's kind of trying to, from what I understood, this c4 was an attempt from Magnus to kind of throw off Anand with like the sideline that's not very often played. Now, is it a bad move? No. It doesn't exactly violate like these principles to try and keep the center fluid. Now, if you are not very familiar with center ideas, I strongly suggest for you to, well, become more familiar with them, especially because for the c4 ideas, when you're like, seems like you're closing up the center, you are not really closing up the center, because this pawn still is movable, and also this is a semi-open file, so we are going to be able to form attacks on this side of the board. Yes, Peach. I have a live viewer. Oh, Cambridge, lovely. Alright, so that's one thing I did want to mention. And now that we have a better understanding of the pawn structure, potential future of the center, what do you think is going to be happening with the king? What do you think is going to happen with the king? Because that's another issue. We're definitely going to do short castle. Probably going to, I mean, this game is both sides going to be short castle, right? The kings that's the only word that they're safe. So that's just kind of like a small thing that it is important to just keep in mind. It's not like if we don't know it, we're not going to be able to play it, but it's important to just have that internal peace. Like, okay, I know I want to sorry, I'm struggling with words a little. I know I want to do the short castle, but the win of it is important too. Okay, so without further ado, let's continue. So knight e2, where do you think this knight tries to go? Probably g3, yeah, and then where? Not entirely sure if there is a future for this knight from there, but it's going to be assisting on the e4 idea. So I think that's one thing that's definitely worth it. That's a very interesting idea, but I am very busy for June. Feel free to send me more information. It would be fun. So, we know that's gonna happen too. Yep, getting the knight here, pushing the pawn. So from black side, this knight c6 is a must. Castle is a must. What else is a must? I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this bishop, so I'm gonna leave it here. probably there will be some pawn movements in the queen side, but we're not in a rush for that. The one thing that we have to decide is, do we want to do knight c6 first or a castle? I think that's important to try and figure out. So between castling and knight c6ing, not knight e5ing, that would be disastrous. So I like knight c6 more because I know for a fact that right now knight c6 is something that I need. But for castle, I could still wait a little bit. My knight has no other place to go besides this square, so that's not it's not a very hard choice to make when it comes to this move. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Okay, I like this. Now, I'll give you guys a small hint because this was a very interesting move that white made. So right now, white made a very, I want to say dubious, but a very challenging move. It's a very good move and it's quite challenging for us because then we have to come up, ooh, should we take this move seriously? Is this a joke? Should I try to block it? Should I try to attack it? What should I do with it? So white to move, what do you think? No suggestions so far? Remember how we talked about how much we love doing short castles and how much we definitely need to do short castles? Well, the move that white does kind of questions that, kind of makes that the idea that we had about white needs to castle, then we're gonna be like, huh? Seriously? White's gonna do short castle after that? Hopefully that kind of gives it away a little bit. Why am I still seeing that? There we go. Yep, g4. To me, this move was so weird and intimidating, and even a little bit more weird again. Just weird. I don't know how to explain it. But it's just one of those moves that it's just really hard to explain. Honestly, I don't know if this move g4 is something that I would want to do. I would think of doing as white. I think g4 is just such a super grandmaster move. That's all I can say about it, because g4 then makes this knight g3 stronger. This knight stays behind these pawns, and then these pawns can start a march. The king does stay kind of in the center, but as long as white doesn't voluntarily play something like e4 and open the center, there is no serious attack on it. So white's fine on that front as well. Does that make sense, or is that just in my head? Yeah, so now Magnus decided to castle. h6 is something else that I think it's worth mentioning. But after h6, just bishop gets out. Then we try to get the knight to a5 so we can, block the queen side a little bit. And now we can castle and just continue with... I think this is also a very just chill way to play. And this was actually a game between Kasparov and lovely Polgar in 1997. So it was like 15 years before this game. This was played between the two, and I believe Kasparov won that game versus Polgar. Anyway, so that's one thing that I wanted to mention, this idea of h6. So g4, not a novelty, just to clarify, not a novelty. Who was white in that game? That game was a game between Kasparov and Polgar, which Kasparov won, 1997. So after g4, we start to, as black, well, we gotta do something. This h6 can't be played, well, can be played, but has a little bitterness to it because Polgar has already lost in it. And then there's this idea with knight, trying to go knight a5, knight b3, but it kind of transposes to the same thing again. So in the game, Magnus cast out bishop g2, knight a5, and got this knight there. Now, what to do? Black to move, what to do? We are already a little over, almost halfway through the game. So what do you think? And I mean halfway, like we're at move 13, the game is like 28 moves. So what do you think is gonna go wrong in the next, 10 moves? Well, that's actually a very scary thought. You know, I do those thought process sometimes, like I'm just like, what's my life gonna be in the next 10 years? And it really scares me. First off, will my parents be here? Will my cat be here? Will I be here? Will I have the job I want? Will I have a kid? Will I not? Oh, it's such a, just like so much will I, won't I? I'm gonna go back drink my tea. I hope there's still tea in 10 years. Oh, that was a very strong tea. Oh, I should probably add more water to it. Okay, the center is going to blow up, potentially. So that's the thing, the king side attack, not necessarily, because our pieces, like I have this ginormous knight up here, so it's gotta be something in the queen side. What did it stumble into? Oh no, I was just talking about how this game is gonna like be determined in 10 moves, and it's so weird, and then I related it to what will my life look like in 10 years, and it kind of spiraled on. Bad Dorsa. Bad Dorsa. Okay, yeah, so we don't want to touch the king side. King side is right now for white. What about the queen side? Can we do anything with the queen side? Still in school. That is highly likely, so that's actually very painful. That's, I think, oh, now I feel depressed. Okay, yeah. Good to know. I have, well, at least you guys have confidence in me that I'll manage to get grades and stay in school. That's good. And yes, it is B5. Lovely. Yes. So I want to ask you a question. Why aren't we taking over here? It would get rid of the 2 bishop. Why aren't we doing that? It's not a calculation move. It's more like a chess knowledge type of move. So I kind of trust you can find it. And GMP she is eating. I wouldn't say bad bishop, but I would say that how many moves did we spend with the knight? Knight c6, a5, b3, and then take on c1 for a bishop that did not even move once. So we would like waste 4 moves to just take 1 bishop. It's not worth it. Also, this knight on b3 is quite strong. That's another side of it, yeah. Alright, I like this. Then we can start pushing over there. In the game, Anand went for knight g3. a4 seems to be interesting as well. However, knight g3, boom, a5. I believe this a5 8 years ago was a novelty. If anybody knows this to be wrong, please do correct me. But in my knowledge, that was the novelty. Alright, what else? What else do we have? That good knight, yeah. This knight is a good boy. So, I'm gonna move it along. The question on why not rook e8. What do you think is not very good to rook e8? Rook e8 was another way that this game was played. When was this? Same year between, I actually don't know these people. This game, anyways, was played between, it was a game in US League in 2013, and kind of, Black King got too opened up and Black could not really survive it. Yeah. Alright, so rook e8, g5, then you gotta move this knight, then this push, and then it gets too slow. This knight movement is way too slow, and by the time Black managed to get his pieces in row for queenside attack, this king side is like, this king is like, it's like latent, it's like naked, like lonely and naked. This king is like, I just came up with the word lol, but it's like, this is like a sad king. It's like so alone. It's like, I'm feeling bad for this king. This king needs to get a pet. But yeah, this king is a sad king. We don't want sad kings. We want happy king. Alright, but yeah. And then like in this game, Black continues like getting the bishop out. Even this bishop even goes from a different way. And then, ooh, this is just hurting my eyes at this point. Ouch. Honestly, I don't think even Magnus could survive this as Black. And Black made another mistake, which was faced by just e6. I'm just trying to show you how this could go. Ooh, hurts my eyes. Check. And alright, I want to actually ask you, White to move, what do you think White can do? I mean, White could just simply take it over here and still win. You know, there was a lot of walking involved in my day, but my weekend was not fun. Actually, I think I did teach on Sunday, so for any of you who were here on Sunday, I told you that something was stuck in my bathroom vent and smelled like decomposing, and I was right. Yesterday they came, they opened it, and they took the poor squirrel out. It was so just sad, and just then I had to stay somewhere with Peachy overnight because it was too smelly here, and oh my god, that was a mess. Then I had to wash everything in my apartment because they didn't know what it, like, maybe it has a disease or something. Oh my god, it was just, I had 7 loads of laundry. I even washed like pillows, like actual pillows, not the pillowcases. So yeah, I had a fun weekend. That was your weekend. Yeah, okay. Yeah, f6. Honestly, anything wins. This was also winning. It lessens the winning a little bit, but yeah. You know, it was not a rat, it was a poor squirrel that apparently there are like a family of squirrels living in this building between the walls, so they're still trying to figure out how to deal with that. Yeah, that's an ongoing problem. Aw, thank you, Silas. Alright, so let's get back to the real game. And I might vent more about this, maybe, but for now I feel okay. Alright, so there was a real game. Magnus did not mess with this rook e8 stuff. He played a5, g5, and now where do we place this knight? Do we have a favorite spot? Well, I mean, you kind of have two choices, so do you have a favorite spot? I agree, e8, because with e8 You have some chances of covering up this naked king. Yeah, I like this. If you need it, you might not need it. Opponent might not form an attack. Alright, good job. Yeah, good job everybody. The one other tiny thing to mention, if e4 we could just take and then just play h6. Black is right on time to keep everything under control. These are also potential targets. Alright, great. So, g5 and now knight e8. Now e4. So this move that Magnus made was a little like I had to. It was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Because it was something that we talked about earlier, and we were like, nah, we don't want to do this. But then Magnus went ahead and do it. So what do you guys think? White to move. Oh my God, sorry, black to move. White just played e4. Hello, Vishy. Big stretch. Take the bishop. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, it's like we talked about it earlier, and so it seems like Magnus decided that this exchange is kind of necessary, and so the original plan needs to be changed. And to me, that's cool because you don't have to stay on the same plan, but at the same time, we talked about it. We were like, this kind of loses like 4 tempos. Yes, I did the chess cups today. I was there, Alejandro was there, Caleb was there, Ryan was there, Dominguez showed up for a little bit. Who else was there? Oh, Joy, I was there. I saw her. It was like a big party of just the chess pieces and hot dogs. They were amazing hot dogs. I had 2. Ugh. Yeah, we decided to take this, and that's why I'm just like, didn't we just say we don't want to do it? Yeah. So it was weird because Carlsen is like losing basically 3 tempos, and they were like, we just like knight c6, a5, b3, and take that. We did 4 moves, but yeah, let's keep looking. I'll ask you in like few moves if you still think it really matters the next move. So it's not just this move. This single move on its own looks weird, but if you can find this move that what Black did right now, then we can actually see like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, the other problem was that I was storing stuff for one of my friends, and just to be safe for both me and him, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like bug spray everything, like the rugs, the couches, and everything. And it turned out there were I was hosting a stray cat once or twice, and it had fleas. So I had to make sure Pishy didn't have fleas, take him to vet, get him checked, get him medicine, wash everything, vacuum clean everything, wash myself, wash like everything. Like there was so much washing, I can't feel my fingers. Fingertips are a little gone at the moment. But that was fun. Great Wolf, me too. Yeah, Rook a6, nice one. Rook a6 it is, and I think Rook a6 is why we can be like, okay, so we can kind of make sense of why we took it, because now this pawn is weak, this rook is very strong. It's not just that we're playing in the queen side, we're like kind of shifting the focus between queen and king side, and not just that either. Now, what do you think white should do? I think considering f4 is a fair suggestion, but is it the right time? Oh, thank you, Joe. They were very lovely. There was one little girl that I thought she was very talented, but I didn't get to finish my game with her. I hope she joins our camps and gets more involved. Exactly, I think it's time to get some of the heavy pieces involved too. Alright, so what do you think White's gonna do? We just played this rook a6. Oh, hello, Eduardo. Rook a f2, maybe. Magnus doesn't make mistakes. Computer mistakes. I mean, I'm not arguing with that. The guy is a god. Okay, so in the game, Anand just went for e5. Now, bringing the rook makes sense, but then because this side gets naked, we can start pushing pawns. And let's see, what else was a suggestion? Oh, f4, possible, but again, we could just take that, and something like f5, then boom, we get to the other side. Hulk. Oh yeah, he did have a very great tournament this week. There has been so much chess recently. The Grand Chess Tour is starting soon, isn't it? I also know that I was following the World Cup qualifiers for the US side of it, the American side of it too. And I believe the similar one was happening from the Asian ones. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Alright, yeah, taking is cool. If you try to take back, then I can just try to exchange the knights, and this is a nice new hole for me to go poke at. Alright, so rook a6, e5. Now what do we do? Is it time for us to play g6 and get this knight involved, or does it just make our king a little weaker? What do we think? What, Pish Pish? I have a cat considering to join us. Nope, he went under the table. Well, I mean, if we're lucky, he might. We are still... So, Brian, now we're kind of trying to figure out what to do from Black's side. Because we went ahead and we did this e5 for White. So now Black. h6, huh? Why h6 is becoming so popular? Because h6 is a bad move, just f4. We're not going to be able to take that, and we're not going to be able to get this knight involved, and this rook is also not really doing anything. He tried to play rook g3, now just h4, and one of these pawns it's just like a super pawn march. I don't like h6. g6, I think it's doable, honestly. The issue with g6 could be just simply f4 and trying to go for f5. That's an issue that we can't really, I can't do anything about. But I agree that we need to get this knight involved. So how do you think we should get this knight involved? G6 just makes the rook move. Yeah, kind of. I agree with that. Oh, there we go. Knight c7. So it's not just about trying to do knight e6, even though I would like to. Let me ask you, what about b4? Do we like this idea of b4? Then my only problem with, I think G6 is quite strong. My only issue with G6 is when we play G6, then we have to do this knight G7. Then the knight is just kind of there, and then the pawn on G6 is a good target practice for H5. Then like white to play H4, H5, white to play F4, F5. It just feels too heavy. I like B4 too. I think it's interesting. Whoa. But the issue is just take, and then this exchange. Now this bishop is a little useless over here. Take, then your queen gotta go there too. And it's fine, but little like, I wish my position had more to offer. Not a very, it doesn't have that many opportunities. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, for black at least. Yeah. However, to be fair, this version of the attack also doesn't really feel as strong as it looked for Anand in the game. So let's see. So in the game, Magnus did not play b4. He simply played knight c7, f4, and now he played b4. Now in the game, take. What do we think about f5? If f5, b3 kind of looks fancy. What do we think about this? To be fair, it looks like either white's gonna just kind of attack and win pretty soon, or black's just gonna get away with it and slowly do stuff in the queen side. So I think those are your two logical options. All right. So after this after this take and take. Now this knight kind of little disappointing. I was really hoping it would be on f5 eventually. It's just so cool here. But this knight over here is somewhat supporting the pawn structures as well. So in the game, when Anand decided to play f5, now this is another tiny critical moment. You can take, you can push, or you can push. Those are your, I want to say, top three choices. So which one should we go for? Taking looks pretty cool. G6 feels a little off balance, honestly. I do like b3, and b3 b3 also seems to be a little off balance, honestly. But b3 is what Magnus played. G6 seems to be the most lovable by the computer, because after G6, if white tries to play E6, that's a whole different dimension of you, like take and an F6, and things can get really weird over here. However, taking is also another suggestion. Yeah. You kind of got to do it if you're suspecting to get a little bit of checkmate. Alright, so b3 was played in the game. I know, right? Anand did lose this game, but he was like very winning. Hello. We got Vishy in the room. Hello. Alright, Kitty, you gotta sit down somewhere. We got a hotspot going for the game. We're gonna sit here? You good here? No? Okay. Yeah, he's being a good boy. We've had some challenges over the weekend, so we share that little cutie bond. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did he get to the microphone again? Oh boy. Sorry, everybody. He does that. I am not able to anticipate which direction he's going to jump. It really depends on his mood. I thought I hit the microphone well. I apologize for anybody's ear damage. He's cute. Put it on his tab. Alright. Okay. Let's go back to the Anand Carlsen game. Only if they knew there was a cat here messing with the audience. What's the logic of b6 since white can't go before? Exactly, so it's not about knight b4 per se, it's about, okay, it's more like if I don't get checkmated, I'm gonna be able to use this pawn structures very nicely soon. So that's more about, I think that's more about it. It's not about I'm so much enjoying this pawn on b3, I don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna go karaoke. It's not about that. Alright, so we keep getting distracted because there are fluffy creatures around. Well, I keep getting distracted. Okay, so I think this b3 was actually a pretty cool idea. That wasn't, I wish I was strong enough to say I wouldn't want to take on c3, but I'm very tempted. I would want to take on c3. Alright, after b3, Anand simply played queen f4, f6. What do you think about f6? Okay, come here, kitty. Might as well show the audience some cool stuff. Sit. Good boy. Yeah, we gotta do this g6, right? Now, after this, now Anand could have tried like with queen f4, then we gotta save this king, because that's coming up. And then we could push for something like that. However, this is very, very scary. I am not very comfortable for this. I think actually queen h6 was played a little too early. Anyways, this is still doable, and this is serious checkmate threats coming up, right, Vishy? Now, what do you think about this? Should we make a queen now, or is this game hopeless? Oh, Vishy Chamush. I wish he would be such a good boy all the time. You want to go? Okay, I think he wants to go. Maybe not on the microphone. Oh, well. Maybe go the other way. Good boy. Yeah, that game is 8 years old. Okay, we gotta make this queen. And then, okay, bishop f1. Now what do we do? This move. You have one single move to survive this position. One single move. What is that move? Nope, not queen f8. Queen f8, just queen h7. King h7, rook h4. Voila. Nuh-uh. Nope. Queen d1. Good job, Brian. Queen d1. Try to stop it from here. Lovely. Alright, so this is a line that could have happened, and now white actually has to fight for equality, because right now black does have the upper hand. So this is, I thought this was kind of cool. Alright, so that was just like very deep line that I wanted to show. You can just stop it all and enjoy the rest of this. However, let's go back to the main line. So this was the f6. So another line is, if not f6, let's see, what else could be? What about knight h5? How do we like that? What about knight h5? It was a kind of a cool line, right? So what if knight h5? And knight h5 right now is not really posing a threat, so I can just, oops, I can just bring my knight, right? Yeah, I can just bring my knight and just enjoy this a little bit. Go attack pawns. I feel like right now I'm just thinking, la la la, I want to attack this, I want to attack that. Yes, Michael, it is. Yep. Hello from India. Lovely. Alright, so white is trying to do f6 ideas. However, it might not be exactly the brightest idea at the moment. So that's kind of the deal. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at how this line would end. Then we could take it over here. If you take, then boom, I'm gonna make another queen. So for those of you who kept wondering why b3, because it kind of paralyzes bunch of white's pieces. Good morning. Whoa, where are you, Nick? Alright, rook f1, and then you can eat that, and that's also super winning. Alrighty, let's go back to the main line. So in the real game, remember this line with f6, g6, queen f4 that we just looked at? So Anand made an improvement and he just pushed queen f4 first. So after queen f4, knight c7, Anand went for f6. Okay, so question, what to do? Black to move. Everybody good? We're almost done with this game. There's like 5 more moves left. Actually, less. 4 more moves left. I think pushing is a good idea. This g6, I like it. What else do we have? I think this idea with g6 could be very beneficial because, let's see, what else do we have on it? Yeah, I mean, there is a suggestion of taking, but this is way too computer move. It just makes my brain go, no. Like, I don't want to bother. If there's g6, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, knight e6 also doable. After knight e6, queen f3 could be played, then we could do g6, yeah. Doable, very doable too. But then this is a weakness, so but just be careful on that. If you know you're gonna do g6, just do g6 and be done with it. Now in the game, Anand played queen h4. This is a very, very critical position. Now black to move, what to do? This move really did blow my mind. You have two choices. Either you gotta move this king and then the queen comes and then you bring the rook and you deal with that, because this is a very serious checkmate threat. Or you try to make a small difference. No, not knight e6. If knight e6, queen h6 can happen, and then this is a serious problem. Yeah, no. h5, no, I just knight can take, honestly. Thank you. Knight e8, good job. Knight e8 is a very strong move. Right? Alright, so we got this out of the way. Yep, knight e8. And in the game, white continued with queen h6. So after queen h6, there's no serious threat of checkmate right now, but there is threats of happening over here. So black to move, what to do? I'll give you a choice. Well, actually, I don't want to give spoilers. I really want to give you a choice, but I don't want to give you spoilers. Yep, b2. Good job. Lovely. Yep, b2 again. I kind of did spoil it earlier. Sorry, guys. Yes. So this prevents any touching of rook. You touch your rook, I'll make a queen. You can't touch your rook, so that's off limits. White does have good ideas, so it's not like white's completely hopeless now. White could do knight e2. White could do, I think knight e2 is a big one. And okay, let me tell you what happens if rook f4. Let's start with that. Rook f4 is actually what happened in the game. But what do you think about that? What do you think about rook f4? We should make that queen, right? Because he's going for serious checkmate. So we make the queen, and then Anand made the horrible mistake and played knight f1. So can you tell me what's the difference between knight f1 and bishop f1? Oh, we'll address rook b1 and knight e2 in a second. I just want to show you this mistake. Black has two queens. So bishop f1 is the good move. Even if we do like queen d1 like last time that we had this similar position, rook h4, queen h5, boom bam, then take, then rook, then bishop comes up. There's white still holds a good counterplay because of something like g6. Now you take, now rook g5. It's just this knight has to stay here, this bishop's stuck here, this rook is stuck because of this knight. Everything is just stuck. And to top that off, now if black tries to free himself, again, this pawn falls. There is like so much weakness around that I don't think it's most likely gonna end in a draw, basically. Yeah. Basically, yeah. So that's the thing. Magnus is not winning if Anand made the right choice of playing bishop f1. Anand made a mistake. He played knight f1. So, what do we think about that? What's wrong with knight f1? Exactly, thank you. Queen e1, and this queen e1 stops rook h4. Anand immediately resigned. If you play rook h4, I'm just gonna eat that, and I just have an extra rook. That's enough. Yep, he made a horrible mistake. Now we know how the game ended, but let me do this answering the rook. What's wrong with rook b1? First off, if rook b1, I can just do like queen a5, attack over here. I want to do queen a1 too. So that's the biggest problem. If knight e2, I think knight e2 is another one worth considering. But it kind of makes the game a little chill. We can just do like a chill bishop e6. If you do knight f4, then I can do a chill queen a5. Kind of just like, because white's not exactly attacking anything, gives black the chance to free the queen. Even though it's just the queen on that pawn on b2, it's still enough forces to stir up some heat. I guess that's the right expression. Yeah, so that's what we are going for. Alright, any other question for this game? I really think it was so sad that like Anand made so many accurate news and one move and it all goes poof. Same way GMP, she runs out of the door whenever the door is open. Poof. Yeah. Oh, Ehsan, feel free to send me an email or contact me via Instagram. That's one of the things that I do check. Yeah, it was a sad win. Bittersweet, bittersweet. We love Magnus. I cannot really do like Anand too. He's such a calm personality. It's like, if I see him, I feel like I'm listening to one of my discs on how to be relaxed, and then I want to do yoga. Oh, that's very fun. Alright, so that's all the thing I have for this game. So now, if there are no questions for this segment of the class, we are going to do the switch to Twitch. And yeah, so we're gonna do our segment of switch to Twitch. So what we do is we go on Twitch, you'll share your games via Licha's link, either games on Licha's that you played, or you import your games on Licha's, and then you will join us on Twitch channel, just Steel Chess Club, and you will share your games there. So we are gonna do that in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna do a short get more tea, switch from YouTube to Twitch. Shouldn't take more than that. I'll see you in 10 minutes, so please have your game ready. It's more of a first come first serve type of deal, but if you are a subscriber, you will be prioritized too. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Have a great rest